Canelo versus Plant. Finally getting my post-fight thoughts out there, being that lost my voice due to allergy. As you can see, I live amongst the trees, so all that stuff gets in my lungs and can't speak, but have enough of a voice to speak on it. Thought it was a great performance by Canelo. Obviously expected. I expected Plant to have some moments early and then wither as Canelo takes his greatest asset away, which is his jab, and for Canelo to stop him in the championship rounds, which is why I played the over 9.5 as I told people to play in my prediction video. I just thought that Plant was going to buy himself some time with the jab early in the fight, and then as Canelo took that jab away, which is what Canelo does, right? He always takes away his opponent's greatest asset somewhere in the middle rounds, and then it goes downhill from there. Did the same thing to Billy Joe Saunders. But Plant's chin and his mental capacity is better. Mental toughness is better than a Billy Joe Saunders, so I expected him to last a little longer and go into the championship rounds before being stopped. Canelo fractured Plant's orbital bone as well, which is what Canelo does, man. He just breaks you down. And I see a lot of comments out there from people who still feel like Canelo fights are fixed and whatnot. And that their thinking on this is that a guy shouldn't go up and weight and look stronger. Here's the issue with that thinking is, if you look at it stylistically, Canelo is better against taller opposition. I mean, his accuracy and punch placement against taller fighters is off the charts. I mean, he is almost unstoppable against 6 foot plus fighters. His accuracy is incredible. So when he's landing these shots and sitting down on these shots and all the leverage is coming up and he's fighting off his front foot because he's taken these guys' height and reach advantage and turned it into a disadvantage, he's getting a lot of leverage on those punches that he wasn't getting against naturally faster, quicker, better movers in the lower weight classes. This is a great weight for Canelo. I think Canelo should just sit in at 168 and let everybody gravitate towards him, fight 3 or 4 times a year, continue to mow guys down, whoever those guys may be, but force those guys to come to 168 and just sit in there because he looks unstoppable at 168. Charlo, Andrade, if Triple G beats Murata, make those guys move up to 168. He can fight Benavidez, Bivol Bitterbeef, if he wants to move up to 175 for a fight or two. But I'd like to see him settle in at 168. But just an excellent performance. To me, there's a lot of talk about, is Plant a good fighter, all this stuff. To me, the topic of discussion shouldn't be Plant, because although I think he's a good fighter, I don't see him as a guy who's going to be active enough to even have conversations about, to be honest. I mean, I see him fighting one time in 2022, and then he'll probably disappear again. Maybe fight one time in 2023. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I see from Plant. I'd rather talk about the guy who is the face of boxing, will fight 3-4 times a year, and fight the top competition available to him. And to me, what he's done, Canelo, is unprecedented in cleaning out a division in less than a year. For 4 times in 11 months, it's impressive not only on a competitive standpoint. You can argue, oh, super middleweight's not that strong right now, and you'd probably be right. Would Canelo become undisputed and clean out 168 in the Super 6 era when it was Ward, Kessler, Froch? It would have been tough. And Durrell, to run through those guys back to back to back would have been tough. But he did it. That's all we have to go off of. And not only that, from a business standpoint, when guys are fighting once a year, for a guy to put himself in the position to leverage whatever he wants to do from a business standpoint in order to force these guys to fight him when he wants them to fight him, and do it within a year. Phenomenal. Phenomenal on both a competitive and business standpoint. When you're fighting 4 times a year, and this is I'm gonna leave it off at this, because there's talk about who's the fighter of the year. Is it Usyk? Is it Usyk? Is it Canelo? Look, man, Usyk fought once a year. As much as I love Usyk, fought once. Canelo fought 4 times. And yes, you can say Usyk's win is stronger. Agreed. But 4 times, you're increasing your risk of something going wrong when you're fighting 4 times in 11 months. There's a reason other guys are not doing it. There's a reason he's the only guy doing it at the elite level. Canelo's a dog. Show respect. No cap. Canelo. Undisputed. God bless y'all.